So what is this? It's a spot where our final year students who are doing physiotherapy get to do their practicals, and particularly into sports.
Your inspiration station is Skrypt in the afternoon. If you are just joining me, you're in luck. MYD Heart for today features Simon Namesho, Marketing Officer and Corporate Engagement and International Relations Officer at the University of Namibia, and Margareth-Rose Kangootui, who is our Corporate Communications Assistant. And they'll be chatting about the new sports physiotherapy and rehabilitation clinic at the university's main campus. Firstly, welcome to 99 FM.
Thank you. Thank you.
And let's get right into it. This is the first time hearing about it, so I'm also quite excited about it. Just brief us about the clinic and the services that are offered.
All right, no, thanks very much for having us. Yeah, that's true. We have quite a new facility, a new spot on main campus. As you have said it rightly, it's our sports physiotherapy and rehabilitation clinic. It's based in the M block at the main campus. So what is this? It's a spot where our final year students who are doing physiotherapy get to do their practicals, and particularly into sports. They have been doing this already in the hospitals, at the state hospital and Kangootui hospital, but then there was no component of sports, So this is a unique part. They are going to do on sports, guys. So we're looking at our clientele for this clinic is usually mainly our students who are based at our campuses, and particularly the ones that are doing sports. So if they have any issues that need to be taken care of, there's a whole list, there's a whole menu of things that they can attend to you on. And then they don't do it alone. They do it under supervision of our lecturers and the guys that are already professional in this space. So yeah, that's what's cooking.
So why? I mean, you said obviously the students have to go out to get the experience out there. Now it's all in one place on campus, and I'd like to say, you probably heard this, people that say, no, I could have been a footballer, but my knee. This is coming at the perfect time for these students because, it's something that most people don't know that they can study. And most people that do get into the studying, the facilities are also limited. But what came up? What was the need for the university to come up with this?
I think, just to state it mainly, UNAM trains like homegrown. So this is the first institution that actually offers physiotherapy in Namibia. So the program was introduced in 2018, right? But that's because of the national shortage of physiotherapists in Namibia. And I think to some people it might be a shock because most of them are actually absorbed in the private sector and not necessarily in the public health sector. So UNAM basically just heeded to the call for more physiotherapists in the public health sector because even at the moment, for example, Kangootui Hospital and Central Hospital, we have really limited staff there. You find one or two physiotherapists, and if you go all over Namibia, you find that there isn't really physiotherapy facilities in the public health sector, right? So we're like, how can we address this shortage? So UNAM came up with the solution. We have the physiotherapy program just to help fill this gap. And then just like Simon just mentioned, the clinic specifically, because our students do go out, they still do their clinical training at Kangootui Hospital and Central Hospital, but then this is just to highlight the sports component of it because they do get, because physiotherapy is actually very broad, there are a lot of specializations under it, and our students should do 1,000 hours of clinical training, right? And within those hours, it's broken down into, you need to cover your sports, you need to cover all of this. So the gap was that we don't have a lot of people doing sports or coming in with sports injuries, right? Because they think, I should just go private, and sometimes private is more expensive. So we're like, no, let's have this facility at our main campus and then bring students. Even if you're on campus and you're there busy playing volleyball and you just hurt yourself somehow, you could quickly just go to campus and there's someone that can treat you. And from the services, if we could also refer you to somewhere else depending on the injury, but we would like to just address the injury in the moment to make sure that it doesn't terminate your career in the long run.
That's good to hear, because I played a little bit of basketball for UNAM, and sometimes you take it lightly because you're like, the medical aid, the what. But for someone like me, I'm from outside. I'm not a student at UNAM. The use of the facilities, is it available to outpatients as well, or clients, or is it just strictly internal?
At the moment, it's strictly internal, and there's a reason for that. It's just opened the beginning of August, so it's doing baby steps.
Okay.
And there's also issue of liability and whatnot. So at the moment, they're just looking at the students at the university and who are doing sports at the university. So as soon as they are done that baby step, crawling and whatnot, as soon as we are toddlers by January, February, March next year, we'll be happy, of course, to take in other clients from outside. But then remember that we are also attending to the public already through the state hospitals.
Yeah.
So as soon as we have that one sorted out, so hopefully we'll be taking in as well public.
You will definitely be seeing my face there, because I am athletic and clumsy.
Yeah.
It's not a good combination. As far as payment goes, what are the different payment methods accepted at the clinic? For example, with medical aid, as things stand right now.
Well, the good thing is that the clinic is free, right?
Music to my Namibian ears.
Yeah, so like we said, we really just want to cater to people that also don't have medical aid, and students as well. You're not working, you're probably off your parents' medical aid, and you just happen to love a certain sport and you're engaging in it, and you happen to also just get an injury. So we just want to make it accessible to the public, especially our student, not public, let me get that correctly, our student population. So we it's free for everyone, and mainly because our students, our final year students, are still doing their clinical training. Not that they are not already there, they are really good, but it still is training. And yeah, but it's free. So if you're a UNAM student out there, definitely, and you enjoy sports,
do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Just any last words on physiotherapy? Like, because for me, when I was still in school, that's something I definitely wanted to study, because I was doing sports and it fits so well, it fit like a glove. And Namibians, Namibia has wonderful athletes. And our opportunities abroad are limited, and this is an avenue that is so complementary to the world of sports. Just what advice or encouragement do you have for students out there who are athletes, or even just the athletes themselves that might maybe want to go into a sports science, and how important can just not the clinic but the whole study be for them?
Yeah. No, I think Skrypt, this speaks to quite a big thing here. This speaks to access, and access to physiotherapists. And not just for some, but for all. And I think I just need to give a shout out here also to the MVA fund, because historically, people used to go outside the country to go and get training for this. And then they used to fund these students going outside. Then they said, hey, why don't we just speak to UNAM? We create a program, and then that's it. So here we are, and they've done that and sponsored the program quite from the initial days. And we actually had our first graduate this year in April, who are psychologists and physiotherapists. So actually then that brings the whole game of access back to everybody. So now as soon as we have people coming back into the industry, and not just in the private industry, nothing wrong with private, but we all know what's up, but then it also goes to the public as well, public hospital. So all this helps with access. As much as we have our nurses, our doctors, our gynos, dermatologists, etc. You also need that person who can help you in that area of physiotherapy, particularly the sports guys, and generally as well.
100%. Margaret, any last words?
I think we should just demystify the idea that physiotherapists are masseuse. They definitely aren't just they don't just help with that. The field is very broad, and I would really just want to encourage everyone to educate themselves, because through educating yourself, you might just identify your need and why you need a physiotherapist. So I think it's a field that's growing in Namibia, and I'm just so excited for where it's going to go, and especially in terms of the clinic. We're hoping, our ambitious idea is to have it be like a whole rehabilitation that can house all the specializations, and people can, and we can attend to everyone and not just the UNAM community. So definitely educate yourself about physiotherapy, and tell a friend to tell a friend. A physiotherapist is not a masseuse.
Mondays and Thursdays between 2 and 4 for free of charge.
100%. And there's a reason it is a science. You heard it here first. Simon Namesho, Marketing Officer and Corporate Engagement and International Relations Officer at the University of Namibia, as well as Margareth-Rose Kangootui, who's a Corporate Communications Assistant on MYD Heart, telling us everything we need to know about this very special place at UNAM right now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure.
And we've got a special request as far as songs go. Mikasa, a song that Margaret-Rose is very keen to hear right now. It's Mamela coming up. And Sean Paul, this one is I'm Still in Love with You. MYD Heart, 99 FM.
MYD Heart was proudly brought to you by NHP. NHP, we are about you.